Receipts, as we already have discussed yesterday, this is nothing but the amount received or receivable from selling of goods or assets, or when we just provide the services, it is a receipt for us, right? Receipts may be the capital receipts or the revenue receipts. Now these two terms again are going to be very, very common. Okay, capital and revenue. As far as capital receipts are concerned, okay, the amount that is received by the company or the firm on irregular basis, non-recurring basis. Amount to मिल रहा है, but on non-recurring basis. The best example can be of a capital, can be a bank loan also. We don't go for taking a loan from the bank on a regular basis, right? And when you talk about the amounts that are received by the business entity on regular basis, it is of a recurring nature, so that will be my revenue receipt. The revenue receipt will be in the form of the sale of goods for cash, the amount that we keep on receiving from the customers, right? Or maybe like by providing the services, what the amount is received by us on regular basis. So all those are going to be revenue receipts. Where do we write capital receipts? Which are the capital amounts are there? Those are to be recorded in balance sheet. When you talk about the capital receipt, it will be an increase in liability basically, or it will be the sale of the asset as well. Okay, so if it is an increase in liability, so we are going to put it on the liability side in the balance sheet. And if it is a decrease in asset, when we sell the asset, right, so we are going to show by way of deduction, but that too again in a balance sheet. So whenever you come across this capital term, okay, so by default in our mind, the balance sheet word should click which of the capital amounts are there are to be recorded in balance sheet, and which are revenue amounts are there, whether it's a receipt or expenditure also, maybe the next term. Okay, so these all will be there in my profit and loss account. Okay, let us go to the theory now. Capital receipts. Okay, so these are the amounts received by the business entity from proprietor in the form of the capital, right? Or it may be debentures, or such a long-term borrowing, okay, or maybe raising a loan, right? These are all the best examples of the capital receipt. Where do we write this? Okay, the money received or received by the business entity by the sale of fixed assets, right? Sale of fixed asset also, like land, building, machinery, furniture, all are the fixed assets. When we sell them, we are going to realize the money, and that is also going to be non-recurring in nature. Okay, you talk about the capital, you talk about the issue of debentures, you talk about the raising a loan from the bank or any other financial institution, you talk about the sale of the assets. All these are non-recurring in nature, right? And basically capital receipts, which are the capital receipts are there, they are to be shown in the balance sheet. That is what I told you in the previous slide also, right? Is a part of the balance sheet. Either it will be an increase in the liability, okay, or will be a reduction in the value of the fixed asset. Okay, if it is an increase in liability, will appear in the balance sheet liability side, and if it's a reduction in the fixed assets, that will appear in the balance sheet on the asset side. Okay, this is what is all about capital receipt. Next is revenue receipt. This also has been discussed. Okay, these are the amounts which are received or receivable by the business entity on recurring basis, on regular basis, right, from the operation of its business. So this revenue receipt will include the amount that we receive by sale of goods or by providing some services. The examples can be there for commission received, for rent received, or interest received, or dividend received, or royalty received as well. Okay, so these are the examples for revenue receipts. Now, because these are received on regular basis, so these are basically the operating in nature, and these are credited either in trading account or in profit and loss account. When you talk about sale of goods, sale of services, okay, so that will be recorded in trading account, and all other incomes apart from sales. You talk about rent received, commission received, discount received, interest received, dividend received. All such incomes will go on the credit side again of profit and loss account. Receipts are going to be credited. There's no doubt about that. But revenue receipt related to the sales will be in trading account on the credit side, and all other receipts apart from sales will be in profit and loss account credit side. Next is expenditure.
Sir, the money that we pay for buying the goods.
The amount that is paid, the amount that we spent. Okay. Now, just think of again the same question as I was asking you yesterday. You tell me, why are we supposed to, as a business entity, why are we spending the money? One example, purchase of goods. What else?
Purchase of services.
Yes.
Purchase of assets.
Purchase of asset, purchase of machinery. You talk about any fixed asset, tangible, intangible, anything. We need to pay for that. But that is how the definition also says that. Let us see that. Money spent or liability incurred. For what purpose? For acquiring goods or services or asset. All three are included. Goods purchase करेंगे, asset purchase करेंगे, या acquiring the services also, right? For these things, whenever we have to pay the amount, we pay the amount or we need to pay the amount in future. That is called an expenditure. The way like we had the classification for receipts, same way we have classification for expenditure also. Expenditure is a payment made for the benefit received. Whenever we receive the benefit, maybe in the form of the goods, maybe in the form of the asset, maybe in the form of the services, we need to pay. That is expenditure. Okay. Examples are in front of us. We can see this over here. Payment of rent, salary, purchase of goods, purchase of land and machinery, furniture, etc. are the examples of expenditure. Expenditure is basically classified into three types. Very commonly known to, the third one is a kind of a hidden term, right? Let us see that. One is capital expenditure. This is known to us. And second is revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure, can you give me some examples?
Sir, capital expenditure examples can be machinery and capital expenditure which increases the business efficiency.
Yes.
Like machinery can increase the efficiency of the business.
Yeah, it allows the business to earn more profit. Okay, which helps us to generate the income. So those are the capital expenditures. Basically, the amount that we spend for purchase of an asset, okay, that will be treated as a capital expenditure.
Sir, I was just saying the examples of revenue expenditure.
Please.
Sir, rent expenses, sir, and salary expenses, sir, and sir, commission expenses, etc.
Purchase of goods as well. Marketing expenditure, yes. Okay, that's a revenue expenditure. Third category is deferred revenue expenditure. This is very special term. Thing like I would like to add for capital and revenue expenditure. When you spend any amount for the capital expenditure, we know that it's a purchase of an asset. So this will yield us a benefit for years to come, many years, right? Revenue expenditure, you acquire the goods, you acquire the services, the benefit is derived in the same accounting year, correct? But when you talk about deferred revenue expenditure, so these are the amounts which are paid by us, a huge amount, and the benefit of the same is to be derived in several years. Okay, so that is deferred revenue expenditure. We'll discuss in detail with the help of an example. The example basically I give every year is about the advertisement campaign expenses. If it is simply advertisement, it's a revenue expenditure, simple advertisement. But when you talk about advertisement suspense, advertisement campaign expenses, so those expenses are deferred revenue expenditures. And what is a special feature for that? The point is, the benefit is to be derived, or the benefit will be received by the firm in several years. The example that I give over here, 50,000 I have paid for advertisement suspense account, advertisement campaign, okay, and the benefit that will be received by the firm is for 5 years, right? So what I do is I will be able to divide 50,000 by 5, because I know the benefit is to be received for 5 years. For the first year, the benefit received will be for the amount of rupees 10,000. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this 10,000? Whatever the amount the benefit has been received, that amount will be charged to profit and loss account, and the balance amount, that is 40,000 rupees, that 40,000 rupees will be shown as an asset in the balance sheet. Okay, will be shown as an asset in the balance sheet. The reason is very clear, because for this 40,000, for the remaining amount, The benefit is yet to be received in the upcoming 4 years. So this process will continue all the 5 years. Advertisement campaign या फिर advertisement suspense account, right? The only thing I want you to remember is कि for such amount, deferred revenue expenditure, it's a huge amount. Better to write it off year by year. As the benefit is received, you just write it off on proportionate basis, right? So that is what is all about deferred revenue expenditure. So 3 terms we need to learn. First one is capital expenditure, already discussed. These are the expenditures which are incurred by the organization for acquiring fixed assets. That's a capital expenditure. And the money, ये additional point है जो मैं discuss नहीं कर पाया था. The money spent on bringing these assets like freight, carriage, or money spent on installation of plant and machinery is also a capital expenditure. I need to give an example over here, then only you will be able to recall or remember this thing. Say for example, we are in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, right? And suppose some machinery is required and that machinery has to come from Delhi. Machinery, Delhi Sana. Ronak, suppose he is a supplier of the machineries. Ronak is in Delhi and order दे दिया था. I have made the payment of the machinery. Suppose machinery is valuing rupees 5 lakh rupees. ठीक है? So I have paid 5 lakh rupees for machinery to Ronak. Okay. Now from Delhi to Gujarat, Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar, तो वहाँ तक लाने के लिए I need to pay some freight or carriage, or in another simple words I can say I'll have to pay for transportation charges. Yes, so I'll have to pay for transportation charges so that the machine from Delhi to Gujarat can come to the place of my factory. It can reach, say for example, that amount is costing rupees 40,000, right? And then again, when any machine comes, so it needs to be installed. So that installation charges will also be there. Okay, installation charges. So those installation charges is suppose 10,000. Correct. We know the definition says that, the discussion says that the amount that we pay for machinery is a capital expenditure. But these two also, the transportation charges, the installation charges paid for the first time when the purchase of asset takes place, or paid only once in the lifetime of the asset, will be treated as capital expenditure only. I'm not going to pay any transport charges for the machinery again that has been purchased. One-time expense. Same way, installation charges. Once the machine is installed, that will be ready to use, right? So that's fine. So that is again one-time expense. So whichever asset you purchase, and at the time of purchase of an asset, any other expenditure takes place. So that expense will also be taken as an example or as a part of capital expenditure. This is the most important thing. Please remember. So when it is to be taken as a capital expenditure, so in my books, I'm not going to have a separate entry for these two values. I'm not going to write any separate entry for transportation charges or installation charges. No. In my books, the total cost of the machine now comes to 5,50,000. So in my books, when I start with generalizing and all, I will be writing 5,50,000 in my books. Okay, so that is a point for the capital expenditure. Another example which may be known to all of us, say for example, if I'm purchasing a shop, ठीक है, तो shop का जो value है, I'll be paying that. Okay, suppose it is Shivam. Okay, तो Shivam से मैंने वो shop जो है वो purchase किया. The value of the shop is rupees 20 lakhs. Correct. सुनना अच्छे से. Now when I purchase a shop or the building कहा जाता है या premises कहा जाता है, तो I'll have to get the name change. Shivam is the owner. If I'm purchasing now, I'll be the owner. So that documentation charges are there. घर भी खरीदते हैं तब भी ये होता है, शॉप खरीदते हैं तब भी ये होता है. So again, purchasing a premises or a building or a shop is one thing. But then again, related to that, I need to pay the documentation charges, the legal charges, right? So for those legal charges, I'm not going to write a separate entry. That amount of legal charges, legal expenses will be treated as a capital expenditure. Suppose वो 1 lakh आता है, तो 20 lakhs का shop plus 1 lakh का legal charges. So if anyone asks me कि ये shop आपको कितने में पड़ा, well, my simple words will be it is 21 lakhs. I will not say 20 lakhs. The cost of the shop now is 21 lakhs, right? So this is how we deal with. एक और example याद आ रहा है. A newly constructed building is there, and we need to get it whitewashed for the first time, correct? So if you spend some money for getting whitewashed for the newly constructed building, so that amount of whitewash will also be treated as a capital expenditure. And after 2 years, when it's a practice of, like in our culture, it is like getting a whitewash or getting it colored every 2 years or 3 years. Many of the people do get it every year, right? So if it happens to be the whitewash done for the first time will be a capital expenditure, but after that, in an existing building, if you get it whitewashed every 2 years or 3 years, so that will be a routine expense that will be treated as a revenue expenditure, right? So purchase of fixed assets, money spent for installation, for freight charges, for carriage charges will also be treated as capital expenditure. ये भी एक example है. Money spent for improving the existing asset, repair expenses, right? It will be a capital expenditure on the condition that we are paying for the first time. Suppose I have purchased a second-hand machinery. ठीक है? So second-hand machinery को again to make it in a good working condition, I need to spend some repair charges. So if I spend some money to enhance its working capacity, right? So that amount paid by me will be treated as a capital expenditure. But then again, कोई मशीन मेरे पास आ गया, उसके बाद 2 साल के बाद कुछ रिपेयर एक्सपेंसेस हैं, so that will be considered as a revenue expenditure, not the capital expenditure, right? Next, the benefit of these assets accrue to the firm over a number of accounting periods, many years, right? These assets are shown in the balance sheet. जो भी asset है balance sheet में show करते हैं, and these assets are written off, okay, in the form of depreciation. Depreciation needs to be charged, which will reduce the value, and we need to show that by way of deduction, and whatever the net value is there, that net value will be shown in the balance sheet, right? Revenue expenditure, again a simple thing. These are the expenses that we pay in the routine activities of the business, right? These will be recurring in nature. The benefit is also enjoyed by the firm in the same accounting period. Okay. Examples: purchase of goods and services, payment of salary, rent, advertisement, etc. याद रखना, simple advertisement है तो revenue आएगा, but advertisement के साथ कोई भी एक word add हो गया, advertisement suspense account, advertisement campaign, तो it will be deferred revenue expenditure. Okay. So all the revenue expenditures are either debited to, debit तो करना ही है, expense से debit होगा ही, either to trading account or to profit and loss account, depending on their nature. Okay, like it was for revenue receipts also. It is, if it is in the form of the sales, it was credited to trading. But all other incomes, the revenue receipts in the form of the interest received, commission received, dividend received, these other incomes are going to be credited to profit and loss account. Similarly, depending on the nature over here, like if you spend some money for the purchase of goods or any other expenses which are related to purchases are to be debited to trading account, and all other operating expenses, जैसे ऑफिस के expenses हो गए, like you talk about electricity bill, you talk about insurance, you talk about stationery, you talk about salesman salary or office people salary, right? So those things are going to be a part of profit and loss account. These expenditure do not enhance the earning capacity like it was for capital expenditure. Capital expenditure do enhance the earning capacity, but revenue expenditures will not, right? And these are not to be shown in the assets. Let us go through the difference between the capital and the revenue expenditure. Very simple, very easy. First one is meaning. When you talk about the basic meaning of a capital expenditure, it is nothing but the amount spent for acquiring the fixed assets, whereas revenue expenditures will be the amount that we spend for meeting day-to-day operations of the business. Benefit derived. When you talk about the capital expenditure, benefit is derived by the business entity over a long period of time. Okay, but revenue expenditure, it is the same accounting year. Position in financial statements. Where do we write this? When you talk about a capital expenditure, it is always a purchase of asset. So in balance sheet on the asset side, whereas when you talk about the revenue expenditure, it's a routine expense, right? It will be debited again, but debited to trading or profit and loss account as per their nature. Purpose. Why do we pay this? Why do we spend the money? For capital expenditure, we know like it enhances the earning capacity, whereas revenue expenditure is for meeting day-to-day operations or incurred for day-to-day maintenance of the business, right? Deferred revenue, one of my favorite. I already have given you the idea. Okay, deferred expenditures. If the benefit, how do we define it, right? If the benefit of a revenue expenditure, advertisement है तो revenue ना, but advertisement suspense की बात करते हैं हम यहाँ पर अब, ठीक है? Is likely to accrue to a firm over a period of several years. Capital expenditure, long period. Revenue expenditure, same accounting period. But deferred revenue expenditure, accrue to the firm the benefit, okay, over several years. Such a revenue expenditure are termed as deferred revenue expenditure. Example, huge amount spent on advertisement for launching a new product in the market called as advertisement development expenses, advertisement campaign expenses, or advertisement suspense also, right? So the only example which I like the most about this term, like deferred revenue expenditure, okay, how do we treat this? Okay, so you are given an example over here. The amount of 50 lakhs has been spent by Maruti Suzuki on advertisement to launch a new product in the market, right? Which will yield the benefit, okay, for 5 years to the company. So the benefit derived in each year will be 10 lakhs, right? So 10 lakh is the amount. The 1/5 of advertisement will be charged to profit and loss account as an expense, whereas the remaining 4/5 of the advertisement, rupees 40 lakhs, will be shown as an asset in the balance sheet, the portion of deferred revenue expenditure. Every year, 10 lakh will be written off, right, and from the balance sheet and shown in profit and loss account. In profit and loss account, how do we show this? In the first year, in the 2017-18, we just take an example. The total amount spent is 50 lakhs. Out of 50 lakh, 1/5 amount, that is 10 lakh, will be written off over here, and this is how we write it off, and write in particulars to advertisement campaign expenses written off rupees 10 lakhs. And in balance sheet, how it is to be shown? In balance sheet, total amount spent 50 lakhs in inner column. I'll say this asset column जो है वो inner column है, and this is a main column, that is outer column. So 50 lakh will be shown in the inner column, and out of that 10 lakh has to be written off for the benefit received in the current year. The remaining 40 lakh has to be shown in the outer column in the balance sheet. This is for the year 17-18. Now who will tell me what will happen in 18-19, the second year? Anyone?
So 40 lakh minus 10 lakh.
Yes, 40 lakhs minus 10 lakh. The 30 lakh amount will appear in the outer column in the balance sheet, and the 10 lakh again will appear in profit and loss account. Let us see that. Again, profit and loss account for the year 18-19, you can see that the same 10 lakh has been written off over here, and in balance sheet it is 40 minus 10, that is 30 lakhs. Correct? So I'm sure the example is clear to all of us. This is what is all about deferred revenue expenditure.